What if the struggles you've blamed yourself for your whole life are symptoms of complex PTSD? Complex PTSD, or CPTSD, develops after long-term, repeated trauma, like ongoing abuse, neglect, or toxic relationships. Unlike PTSD, which often follows a single event, CPTSD digs deeper, shaping how a person feels, thinks, and connects with others. It hides behind emotions, relationships, and even physical health, making many people believe something is wrong with them, when in reality, these are survival responses to overwhelming experiences. Here are all the hidden signs of CPTSD. Emotional dysregulation. Emotional dysregulation is one of the hallmark signs of complex PTSD. People with CPTSD often feel like their emotions have no volume control. A minor frustration might trigger an overwhelming wave of anger. A small disappointment can spiral into despair. These emotional shifts are not just mood swings. They're rooted in the nervous system being primed to expect danger. Anger may explode, leaving guilt or shame in its wake. Sadness can feel bottomless, like a heaviness that never lifts. On top of that, positive emotions may feel out of reach. Even when good things happen, joy can feel muted or undeserved. This disconnect is made worse by a constant inner critic feeding thoughts of shame, guilt, or worthlessness. Many people also experience dissociation, a kind of mental shutdown where they feel numb, detached from their bodies, or disconnected from reality itself. It can feel like watching life through a foggy glass or being present physically but absent mentally. This combination of emotional intensity, self-judgment, and detachment makes regulating feelings incredibly difficult, leaving people exhausted, isolated, and often misunderstood by others. Negative self-perception. Another hidden sign of CPTSD is the deep, often relentless negative self-perception it creates. Survivors of prolonged trauma frequently internalize the belief that they are inherently flawed, broken, or unworthy of love. Instead of seeing their trauma as something that happened to them, they carry the weight of it as if it defines who they are. Shame becomes a constant companion, whispering that they are not good enough, not lovable, or even a burden. Guilt may surface too, sometimes over things they had no control over, like childhood abuse or neglect. This distorted self-image makes it incredibly difficult to accept kindness or believe compliments. Even when others offer love and support, the automatic thought is often, if they knew me, they'd leave. Over time, this can block access to joy, self-compassion, and healthy confidence. Instead of celebrating successes, people may downplay or sabotage them, convinced they don't deserve better. Negative self-perception is one of the most painful aspects of CPTSD because it burrows into identity. It doesn't just distort how someone feels, it distorts who they believe themselves to be. Dissociation. Dissociation is another common, though often misunderstood sign of CPTSD. It's the brain's survival mechanism, a way of escaping when the body can't. For someone who grew up in prolonged danger or abuse, disconnecting became a way to endure the unbearable. In adulthood, dissociation can still show up unexpectedly. It might feel like spacing out, going blank during stress, or losing track of time without realizing it. Some people describe it as watching themselves from outside their body, depersonalization, or feeling like the world around them isn't real, derealization. In extreme cases, dissociation can fragment memory, leaving gaps where important events are missing or blurred. While it might seem protective, dissociation can be distressing when it interrupts daily life, making it hard to focus at work, stay present in relationships, or even trust one's perceptions. It often creates confusion or self-doubt. Why can't I just stay here? Why does my mind check out? For many with CPTSD, dissociation is not laziness or distraction. It's the echo of past survival tactics still running long after the danger has ended. Recognizing it as a trauma response, not a flaw, is a crucial step in healing. Relationship difficulties. CPTSD often makes relationships complicated, even when the person longs for connection. Prolonged trauma, especially in childhood, wires the nervous system to expect betrayal, abandonment, or harm. As adults, this can show up as deep difficulty trusting others. Someone with CPTSD might desperately crave intimacy, yet feel terrified once it gets close. They may push people away, withdraw suddenly, or sabotage relationships before they get too deep, believing it's safer to leave before being left. On the other hand, some lean into relationships intensely, seeking validation and reassurance, only to feel disappointed or unsafe when their needs aren't met. This push-pull dynamic can confuse both partners and friends. Fear of rejection often drives isolation. Staying alone feels safer than risking the pain of connection. Yet isolation often reinforces feelings of loneliness and worthlessness, Relationships for someone with CPTSD are rarely neutral. They are charged, fragile, and often shaped by old patterns rooted in survival. The difficulty isn't about disliking people, it's about an ingrained belief that closeness equals danger. Recognizing this as a trauma pattern, not a personality flaw, is key to breaking free of painful cycles and creating healthier connections. Flashbacks and hypervigilance. Flashbacks are one of the most recognizable signs of trauma, but in CPTSD, they often take subtler, more complex forms. Instead of reliving one single event, survivors may experience body memories, emotional flashbacks, or overwhelming fear without a clear cause. A sound, a smell, or even a tone of voice can trigger the nervous system to react as though the danger is happening again. Heart racing, sweating, panic setting in. Unlike Hollywood portrayals, many CPTSD flashbacks aren't visual. They can feel like sudden floods of shame, terror, or helplessness. Alongside flashbacks comes hypervigilance, the constant scanning of the environment for threats. It feels like never being able to fully relax, always on edge, waiting for something bad to happen. This state of alertness can be exhausting, both mentally and physically. Sleep often suffers, concentration drops, and the body is kept in survival mode. What looks like paranoia from the outside is the nervous system trying to prevent further harm. Flashbacks and hypervigilance are not signs of weakness. They're signs of a body trained to survive, even long after the danger is gone. Heightened anger and irritability. Anger in CPTSD isn't just a bad mood, it's often the body's survival instinct flaring up. For many survivors, anger was the only emotion that felt powerful enough to keep them safe. Over time, it can become the default response to stress or vulnerability. Small frustrations trigger outsized reactions, leading to guilt or shame afterward. Irritability lingers beneath the surface, making it hard to feel calm even in peaceful moments. This anger isn't just outward, it often turns inward too. Many people with CPTSD find themselves lashing out at loved ones and then directing even harsher blame toward themselves. What outsiders may interpret as overreacting is the nervous system locked in fight mode, ready to defend against a threat, even when no threat is present. Anger also serves as a shield, protecting against more vulnerable feelings like fear, grief, or sadness. Unfortunately, this can damage relationships and deepen feelings of isolation. The truth is, heightened anger in CPTSD is not about being difficult or mean. It's about a brain and body still trying to survive conditions that no longer exist. Learning to understand anger as a trauma response is the first step toward managing it with compassion. Chronic physical symptoms. CPTSD doesn't just affect the mind, it takes a heavy toll on the body. Many survivors experience ongoing physical symptoms without a clear medical explanation. These can include headaches, digestive problems, chronic fatigue, muscle pain, or tension that never seems to fully release. These aren't imaginary symptoms. Trauma keeps the nervous system in a near constant state of stress, releasing stress hormones like cortisol that wear down the body over time. The immune system can weaken, digestion can be disrupted, and the body may stay in a cycle of tension that creates real, painful sensations. Doctors sometimes dismiss these complaints when tests come back normal, leaving survivors feeling invalidated or crazy. But the body remembers trauma, even when the mind tries to move on. Somatic symptoms are the body's way of holding unprocessed stress and fear. These physical signals are not fake. They are real consequences of living too long in survival mode. Recognizing the link between trauma and physical health can be a huge relief, showing survivors that their pain is valid and that healing the nervous system can also begin to heal the body. Emptiness and hopelessness. A deep sense of emptiness is another hidden but devastating sign of CPTSD. Survivors often describe feeling hollow, numb, or like life has no meaning. This isn't ordinary sadness. It's a draining sense that nothing can fill the void. The hopelessness that follows can be overwhelming, leading to thoughts that things will never improve. For many, this comes from years of being in survival mode. When all energy was spent on simply getting through trauma, little was left for building dreams, purpose, or a sense of the future. In adulthood, the result can feel like being alive but disconnected, going through the motions without hope. This emptiness is often accompanied by self-blame. Why can't I feel happy? Why can't I just be normal? But the truth is, these feelings are not a personal failure. They're the lingering effects of trauma that robbed someone of safety and joy. The despair can feel endless, but it is not permanent. With healing, hope can be rebuilt. The emptiness is not who someone is, it's what trauma left behind. Naming it is the first step toward reclaiming meaning and possibility. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others. I'd also love to hear from you. Share your experiences in the comments so others know they're not alone. Remember, CPTSD hides behind emotions, relationships, and even physical health, but recognizing the signs is the first step to untangling what trauma left behind. These struggles are not personal flaws. They're survival responses to overwhelming experiences. Healing doesn't always mean erasing the past. It often means learning to accept yourself, embrace your symptoms with compassion, and love who you are today. Together we take away CPTSD's power to keep people silent. Better brain days.